News Update.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to NBC News Daily. I'm Mackenzie Jonikin with your Midday Ark-La-Miss update. A Ruston group requested a resolution to the Lincoln Parish School Board to reverse the school board decision to consolidate Ruston's 4 elementary schools into 2 K-5 campuses. NBC 10's Valerie Moravi has the latest.
The Coalition Against School Closures group asked the board to consider a resolution to reverse the board's plan to move forward with its $65 million capital improvement plan that would expand 2 elementary schools.
And until extensive research, including a cost analysis, has been conducted to support all aspects of the proposed project.
But regardless of the efforts to request the board to reconsider their vote, the board failed to pass its resolution on a 4-7 vote.
Well, I think the best thing moving forward right now for us is that we let the people of District 1, Ruston School District, all vote on it and have their voices all heard at the election on April 29th.
But residents didn't agree.
You did not ask anyone in the Cypress Springs community how they felt about this. You did not. Because I stay right on the corner of Jasmine.
Election date is April 29th. Reporting in Ruston, and Valerie Moravi for Local News That Matters.
All the mayor candidates for governor met at forum hosted by small business organizations Tuesday. All the campaigns had a lot of ideas what they wish to work on, but how it'll happen is to be found. Capitol reporter Shannon Heck shares with us how candidates are still working to get their names out.
The 5 Republicans, 1 Independent, and 1 Democrat answered a series of questions aimed at assuring small businesses that they will get support should one be elected. At this stage in the race, most candidates are trying to get their core messages out.
I do believe government needs to be more like a business,
while holding on to how they will implement their plans. Education is top of mind for parents across the state, and Sharon Hewitt and Richard Nelson both have legislation filed this year to address literacy and math.
We have to have a world-class education system.
All these things, workforce development, graduation rates, all this stuff, it's all driven by kids being able to read.
Members of the Restaurant Association, the Retailers Association, and NFIB wanted to know how they will fill their workforce.
If we reinvent high school and say we're going to find out which each category those kids are in, and we're going to give them the best path to success.
How will they fix the crime issue that also plagues businesses? They all agree it must be done.
You think reducing income tax and not fixing crime is going to bring business in?
But how will they put their plans into place?
We can fix this problem with crime, and we got to fix it by hiring law enforcement people, training them.
We have to do a better job of funding law enforcement and not just struggling to talk about doing that or taking resources from our local government.
It is still early in the election year with qualifying months away, so there's still plenty of time for candidates to get into the weeds of how they will change Louisiana if they're elected. For your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht.
And now, Storm Tracker Doppler weather with meteorologist Trey Tonneson.
Scattered showers and a few storms rolled into the area early this morning. A cold front from the west is making its way in the easterly direction, but it's a slow-moving front. Thankfully, down into Louisiana, north central Louisiana, and even parts of southern Arkansas even. A severe weather threat is lower than that of central Arkansas and areas to the north. Red shade you see in parts of Arkansas and Missouri is a tornado watch continuing to be in effect throughout the morning hours and will probably remain in effect for at least a couple more hours. Just as recent as a couple minutes ago, tornado warnings for northeastern Arkansas, southern Missouri. Thankfully, though, our wind environment much less conducive to severe weather development through the overnight hours and into this morning. Now, into the day today, we will see that moisture linger from that front as it advances to the east. Eventually, the front will stall out to our south, lingering moisture lingering over the next few days. Today's highs into the low 80s. Scattered storms certainly possible throughout parts of your day. We'll transition into more of a rain threat through the evening with some isolated storms still possible, but that level 2 out of 5, more slight risk for severe weather still in place, though low, still possible, so stay weather aware. Multiple ways to get warnings are ideal. But on into the next few days as that front stalls, rain lingers throughout the next couple days with rainfall and clouds.
To stay on top of every news story in the Ark-La-Miss, make sure you download the NBC News 10 app. All you have to do is search KTVE in the Apple Store or on Google Play. That's it for your midday update. NBC News Daily continues.